Slush Fest. What a day. I am here on location from Two Tides Brewing Company in Savannah, Georgia. Midtown? Is this still Midtown? This is Midtown. With James and Liz, owners of Two Tides. So let's start with the elephant in the room. What's Slush Fest about? Is this a new thing? Has it been going on a little while? How'd this quaint little festival on the side street alongside your building come into play?
Yeah, it actually started during COVID when we weren't able to invest in a lot of ingredients to do sour beers or like some of the heavily fruited stuff that we were doing during the lockdown. So we started, we've always done some form of slushies since the very beginning, but during that shutdown we started doing these crazy flavors to go. And every week we did these drops where we would do crazy flavors and we would pre-sell all of them online, and they would sell out, in 5 minutes, and everyone would come grab all these slushies. So we just kind of, through those shutdowns, developed this like weird cult slushy following. And so as soon as the bans were lifted, a year later, we started doing our first Slush Fest, where we could just cram in as many flavors in a day as possible. So it's grown every year, but this is, it's a long story. Yeah.
I agree with everything she just said.
Yeah. Okay.
Good man, good husband.
Yes.
So being that it started during COVID, I noticed outside during the festival, there was a lot of people there. So even though it was being outside, was there any kind of capacity restrictions to hosting this event in the middle of the COVID situation?
Yeah, initially it was all to go. So we just did different windows throughout the day, and everyone just pre-ordered their slushies, grabbed them, and left. So I think now that we do not have to do that, that's why it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Because everyone likes to hang out in person.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No more restrictions.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Out the window. All right, so tell me a little bit about Two Tides. So I scoped it out online before I showed up. This was my first time here. So I had to scope it out online to get a sense of the parking situation, so I didn't get any anxiety in finding the situation there. Short story, Ubered. I looked at the building and it looks like a duplex. It was a two-family house. So tell me, how'd you pick this building, and how'd you make it work to turn it into a mass production brewing facility?
Well, I wouldn't say we're mass production, but we loved the neighborhood when we were starting out in 2018 and just thought we'd really like to be a part of this neighborhood. And coincidentally, this building was the only thing for rent, period, in the entire neighborhood. And we just kind of made it work, As you see, it was a cinder block structure and more conducive to industrial nature downstairs. And the upstairs was an apartment before we moved in, so it was a perfect little symbiosis of production down here and tap room, tasting room upstairs. And we've just kind of made it work. It's not easy being in an old house. Everything breaks constantly. But it's a beautiful building, and we're very fortunate to have found it when we did and to make it work.
Since you brought the tap room, tell me about the tap room, because you walk up and it's like a main room where the bar is with a one tasting area off the side, and then there's all these little rooms that obviously were bedrooms and living areas at some point. And there's pinball machines. There's a window that you gotta lift up to go out on the balcony. So how did that play? Was it just a situation of this is what we got, this is what we got to work with, or was there strategy to setting up the tap room area like that?
No, it generally was at first. Like James said, it was this is the only building that really is for rent in this neighborhood. We know we want to be in this neighborhood. It was the right time to get into a spot in this neighborhood, and we did not have any money, so it was kind of working with what we had. And we over the years we've talked about taking down walls, or we should have done something this way, and we have definitely some plans to make it a little bit more just up our capacity a little bit up there, like extending the porch. But really we just left it super bare bones and worked what we had, and we've just been very lucky that people actually seem to enjoy that, even more than we thought.
Yeah. It's quirky.
Yeah, quirky for sure.
So I'm part of a podcast in great upstate Midlands, Greater South Carolina, as we start to expand. And normally these types of questions are one of my co-hosts Wayne's Beer Deliveries area to ask. The last one is, the name. Is there any story behind the name? What does Two Tides mean? Where did you come up with that brand name?
Yeah, I guess that was me. I'm the one from Savannah, and there are 2 tides per day. Generally speaking, 2 tide cycles almost every 24 hours.
On the water.
On the water, you know, that's a moon thing. So we just kind of wanted something that we thought played into our location a little bit, into our just overall persona. You know, we're from the coast, and we just thought it was a cool name. Beyond that, you know, so we spitballed it around, and that's the one that stuck.
So, beer-wise, this was a slushy day. A lot of wacky stuff going on. But what's your beer like? Tell me a little bit about either your flagship beers, what beers you like to make, what beers are fast sellers. Maybe there's a bit of a dichotomy versus what the people like and what you like.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I drank about 6 or 7 rice lagers today. That is a beer we released yesterday called Non-Day. We probably have 12 to 15 lagers that we brew one a month and rotate throughout the year, you know. IPA is always king, followed by our sours. You know, I say we're more well known for our kind of out there crazy sours. So it's every day is different. You know, we sell a lot of IPA upstairs, a lot of our sours, and a lot of lager beer. You know, people want to come hang out. It's a really cool, unique spot, so people want to hang out for a long period. And
have a few.
Yeah, exactly. And lager is good for having a few. So we sell a lot of lager in draft.
Let's talk about, you've illustrated a deep connection to the city and this area of the city. So as far as relationships with other breweries, I think of Savannah, I think of you, and I think of service. So what is the craft beer scene in Savannah? How is it growing? Is it you two at the top being the titans of the area and everyone's just trying to, anyone else is just kind of filling behind you, or is there a kind of a more lesser known, greater environment of craft down here?
No, there are some cool breweries here. It has been, on the whole, behind the times. You know, Georgia laws have been so restrictive that not many breweries have found it worthwhile to open here. You know, we opened in direct response to SB 85, which allowed us to sell by the pint in the tap room, which is new as of 2018. So before that, it was only a tour and tasting system. It was just very archaic, tough way to make a living if you're a brewer. So, I'm sorry, what was the question again?
The camaraderie with the other breweries.
Yeah, no, Savannah's a great brew scene, and I'd say that for probably every city. We all have each other's backs. You know, that's the one great thing about the brewing industry. And no, we're the 7th or 8th brewery in Savannah now. You know, we've got some guys, Underdog opening across the road there, and Hopotomica. Those are the only other guys that are probably our size. And then there's the big cats like Service, like you're saying, Southbound, and a few other guys like that. So it's been a pretty small scene historically, but we're probably going to see a few more in the coming years. Hopefully, as Georgia laws continue to relax a little bit.
Now, and as far as those relationships with other breweries concerned, there were a lot of big names here today. I saw Burial, I saw Tripping Animals, I saw Jay Wakefield's, I'm trying to remember them all that I had.
Yeah, there was 20 breweries, and then 20 collabs. 3 collabs with some of our just favorite cocktail bars in town, and a pastry shop in town, and then the 2 Tides Slushy. So, yeah.
That may have been why I didn't recognize some of the names. They're cocktail bars. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is been around for? Is it 4 years now? 18, 22, yeah. 4 years. That's a lot of places. Oh, the other 2 that were in my head were Dewey and Barrel Logic.
Yeah.
They're out in California.
Barrel Culture.
Barrel Culture.
Yeah, North Carolina. Yeah.
That's a lot of big names to all come down here. So how has the last 4 years built those relationships with these breweries that aren't exactly right across the street or on the other side of town?
That's been, I think, kind of the right place at the right time thing. We've been really lucky to meet some really great people over the years, whether it's just from trips we've taken on vacation and stopped by breweries and just said hello and met some really awesome people, and then slowly just becoming friends with those people from hanging out with them in the industry or brewing together. And so all the breweries here are just a just huge combination of friendships, people that we really like hanging out with, people we really like the beer that they brew, breweries we've done collabs with, or if we haven't, we have collabs on the schedule for the rest of the year. It's just a great friendship fest, really. The industry's been super inviting.
So you went out to a lot of places. How much truth is there to the thought process that brewers, owners of breweries, go out to other places, like all around the country, and just get the gears working towards what they want to brew?
We love traveling, going and seeing new places, meeting new people at different beer festivals. It's a great way to be inspired, get new ideas for new beers, and just meet new friends. Like we were saying, that's been a lot of our collaborations we've done over the years. Have been people that we've just met at festivals, chatted up on Instagram, and slowly got to know. A combination of different things, but like you were saying, there's some really good people that we had for our festival today that are really good friends, and we are very honored to have had them, participate. Yeah, exactly.
One of my other co-hosts on the Upstate Beer Boys podcast, Southern Bling Beer Reviews, always likes to ask about food, sustenance. You're talking before about people want to come and crack a few back. The lager's the easy solution because it's light, lower ABV. But a lot of times you want something heavier, and sometimes you want something to soak up. So I know there's this little park area over here. What type of food offerings do you have in the brewery and the tap room?
So today we had some cool local cats doing a unique menu, Fawn Wan. Stefan of the Fawn there is going to be the chef at our crispy smash burger spot trailer that's going to open up in the next month, something like that.
Yeah, it's been like 2 years in the works. So currently we don't have a food program. We just do like really light snacks and things like that. And we rely mainly on local businesses to do pop-ups here. People we have really good relationships with, like Fawn Wan. But yeah, we actually just bought a trailer that will be here any day now. And so we'll be doing a limited, but I would say solid, very well-rounded food menu. Yeah.
What style of beer have you been most proud of making?
I would say our mixed culture program. We don't do a lot of it these days, and that's definitely not where the industry's headed, we've noticed. So those releases are few and far between, whereas when we first opened, we after we built up that inventory, we were releasing those beers every few months, whereas now I say it's a few times a year. But just personally, that's like my favorite style of beer. We did a barrel-aged lager this year. That was like one of my favorite beers that we've done, called Bide. We do a mixed culture with local peaches every year, and that's a big release. And so I think that's that's definitely not the most popular or the best-selling beer by any means, but that is definitely like my favorite style of beer.
So mixed culture refers to things that don't necessarily go together. Say barrel-aged lager.
Yeah.
That's something wacky and out of the box. So that's kind of that's where you're getting at with the mixed culture. It's just kind of mixing of two things that don't necessarily go together.
Yeah, that, and then just anything just funky and spontaneous too. I love the idea of like natural, fresh fruit and beers, and never knowing exactly what you're gonna get, and just the packaging alone, like having it in a bottle, I think is great. It's kind of just an older, it's like dying breed at this point, I would say, in the industry. And you've seen like lagers and everything make a comeback this year, so that doesn't mean it's never not going to come back, and we still do it because we enjoy doing it, but and brewing that style. But yeah, it's just a personal thing.
The bottles going away is making people creating those resin tables of the bottle caps very difficult.
Oh, right, yeah.
So what's the style of beer that you have not tried yet that you really want to try? Maybe like you're just itching for either the right excuse or the climate to be accepting enough of this particular style.
Man.
What's kind of this maybe little goblin living in the back of your head, like I want to let this guy out?
I have no idea. We've never done, I think the only thing we haven't done is Belgian beers. Besides mixed culture, our mixed cultures Tindeling Belgian, but we haven't done any kind of Trappist ales or anything like that. And I feel like that might happen one day. But everything else, I feel like we've already done. We're just doing variations of it. And we're always just the nature that I am. Yeah, I'm just never happy with a beer, so we're constantly making little adjustments. That's what keeps it fun, and just doing different variations of IPAs and sours and that sort of thing.
So my token question on the podcast is about your community ties. What is your local footprint in Savannah, in the coastal community, in Georgia as a whole, and the neighboring states, whatever the case may be? What's your community footprint at Two Tides?
We support a number of local organizations. One of our favorite is Deep organization. Can you tell a little bit about what they do, maybe?
I mean, we do a lot of just overall, we do a few fundraisers a year, and that's what James was mentioning. And Deep Center is a writing program for kids after school. And we we do, that's something that I just really love everything about that organization. So we do a lot of fundraisers for them a few times a year. But I mean, in terms of just with working with other businesses, I mean, we sell our beer all around town. We do events at those businesses that sell our beer. We do, if there's pastries in our stouts, we try to collaborate with local pastry, like the Auspicious Pastry today, the Auspicious Slushy with the pastry, that was a local bakery.
That was a brewery.
I know that. Yeah, it's a local pastry. We do. If we put coffee in a beer, it's a local roaster. We try to just work with friends that we've made, and I think we've grown up with this neighborhood a bit too. When we moved into this building, there was only one other bar open in this neighborhood, and it was just a different kind of scenery. And now there's just more stuff to do in this neighborhood. So we've really enjoyed growing with this community and supporting the community, whether it's through fundraising or just supporting by buying other people's goods to put in our beer or putting it on tap and
just doing fun things for the neighborhood. We like today. We try to do fun things to bring your family to your dog to. We do a number of free music shows throughout the year. Just fun stuff to come out and do for our residents.
Yeah, all our events are free. Obviously when you get here, you have to, you buy the beer, but we don't do ticketed events, outside of the thing I mentioned with the pre-order during COVID. That's just because we couldn't have people here. Every event is always free. It's always family friendly, kid friendly, dog friendly. Yeah.
Did notice quite a few dogs today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, lots of dogs.
James, Liz, thank you so much for joining me. One more from me, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, so you know exactly when these videos drop. If you want to get in touch with me, email me, nutmeg2palmetto@gmail.com, or chit chat it up. I always give the guest the final word. James, Liz, what do you got?
I like beer.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you. Love you guys.
I'll let him sign off on that. Yeah.
James Massey signing off. Love you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Great event, Slush Fest. Folks, make your way down to Savannah for future occurrences.